All right, we're almost finished here with this document. We are on Part D, page 11, and we're going to add some text just to dress this up. And I'm going to press Control-0 just to fit everything to the screen, kind of just what I like to do whenever I want to see everything at one time. Of course, you can always press Control- or Control+, but Control-0 always fits it right to the screen. We're going to add text down at the bottom. Now, before adding your text, I would advise you to click on your topmost layer, because if you're down here where your dots are, it's going to add your text layer behind your picture. So always click on the topmost layer. Grab your type tool, which looks like a T, and just click one time down at the bottom. So what Photoshop does is it adds placeholder text, lorem ipsum text. You're going to see that pop up in there. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and make it large, like a large font, and white. And we're going to make it the words Just Dance. Now, we're not going to use the color boxes over here. I know that seems weird. We've been using them the whole time. But at the top is the options bar. This is where you're going to change your font. So you can choose whatever font that you want. You can choose your size. If you point to the TT and drag, you can make it bigger or smaller. It's kind of a little easier to do that way. Or you can hit the drop down, or you can type in a number. And then here, this box on mine is blue. This is where you change your font color. I'm going to go all the way up, top left, make that white. Okay, now I'm ready to type in. I'm going to say Just Dance. Okay, Just Dance. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit my check mark and switch back to my Move tool, my main tool, so I can decide where I want this to be. And if you want to make it bigger, you can go up and change the font, or you can still press Control-T and just stretch it and make it bigger. All right, but always press check mark to commit the change. All right, finally up here, when you're using text, and again, I got to switch back to my type tool. You can't be clicked in the box, but when you switch back, you're going to see there's this T with a little line underneath it. This is the text warp button. This creates warped text. Let's go ahead and click on that and set this to flag. Now that's too much. We want it to just be a subtle little flag, if you will. I like about plus 24 or so. Somewhere in there, 23, 24, that looks okay. Now you're probably saying, Tanya, that still doesn't look great. Like, it's kind of hard to read. You're right. And you know how to fix it, right? We're going to add a layer style. So down over on your layers panel at the bottom, FX button, let's do a drop shadow. There we go. Much better there. I've got a spread of 29, size 13, but you can play around with that all you want until you come up with one that you think looks good for yours. That's pretty much it. You hit OK. And there we go. We have now completed this cute little poster. Now we're always going to save. Remember, we're going to save as a Photoshop file. So this is a PSD file. But we're also going to export a version. So if I was having students turn these in, I would have them turn in the exported version to me. So we're going to export this by going to File. We're on page 12, File, and then Export, and then Export As. In exported versions of things, all the layers will be glued together. Okay, so it's going to flatten them. In most cases, if it has pictures, you're going to make your export format JPEG format, and that's what we will do here. There are other things you could change, but nothing that we need to. And then you're going to hit export, and it will prompt you to save it and where you want to put it. So here's our exported version. I'm just going to call it Dance Poster Finished, a little dash at the end of it, .jpg, because it's a JPG, and hit save. Now I do want to show you, I'm going to open the JPG in here. So I'm just going to go to File and Open, just so you can see. So here's my finished one, right? I'm going to hit Open. But look, see my layer? A JPEG is a flattened image. So it's all one layer. I cannot edit this. So make sure your students know, you always want to keep that PSD, because if they mess something up or they need to fix something, or you allow them to resubmit for a better grade or whatever, we need them to be able to go to where all the layers are. All right. So very, very important understanding the difference between a JPEG or an exported version and a PSD or a Photoshop working file. All right, I hope you've turned out a great project here. It's a lot of fun. Students can take their own picture and just have something pop out of it very easily. It's super accessible first project that they can do before you've even really taught any Photoshop to them, except for this little bit. So have fun.